Our next speaker, and I apologize for mispronunciation, is Dibyendra Hyoju from TechOut Solutions, who will be talking to us about indexing DSpace, Koha, and WordPress in VuFind.
Yeah, thank you, Damien. Shall I start?
Yes, please go ahead. We're just about on schedule.
Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, let me first introduce myself. I'm Dibyendra Hyoju. I'm a director of TechOut Solutions. We have been providing open source technologies to the libraries in Nepal since 2012. And in this presentation, I would like to demonstrate how the DSpace Koha WordPress website data were indexed in TUCD-LIS, that stands for Tribhuvan University Central Department Library Information Science. It's an abbreviation of that. And I had an opportunity to work in this pilot project. And so I would like to share this experience with you, with everyone here. And instead of focusing on installation, I would like to focus on indexing, how the indexing data of DSpace, Koha, and website was indexed. So in the first slide, I would like to go briefly on how the VuFind was installed. So I installed VuFind with the technical assistance from Damien, and I corresponded with him a few times regarding some technical problems during the installation, and it was I would like to thank him for his technical assistance and help. So it's accessible from this link, and I would like to demonstrate the system later on if we have some time. But for now, I would like to discuss how the data of Koha ILS has been indexed in VuFind. First of all, the mark records was exported from the TUCD-LIS Koha from the staff client, and the instruction for the configuration of how the VuFind needs to be configured to index Koha record have been performed by following these links. And again, I will not go in detail how the configuration was done, but instead I have just provided the link that I had followed to configure the system to index mark records. So 153 mark records were exported from the TUCD-LIS Koha staff client. The Koha system is accessible from this link. After uploading the data to the server, I just have to execute this command, import mark.sh, and followed by the path of the mark record file, which need to be indexed. And after indexing, we can browse the record, and instead of providing the source query, I just press the source button, and all the record in the system are available. And The record can be browsed. The source can be narrowed by clicking the author and by clicking the language, and by there are many other criteria that can be provided to the result from which we can narrow the search result. And by clicking the each record, we can view the details, and the holdings information can be viewed by clicking the holding tab. And similarly, description will provide other physical descriptions, and similar items will provide similar items related to this the topic, or I mean by matching the subject, and or by titles. And in soft stuff view, we can view the records in details in mark format. And in indexing of DSpace, first of all, the OAI PMS interface must be accessible. By using this OAI PMS interface, we have been able to export, import it into the OAI interface. And by configuring this VuFind to harvest the record, we had to execute this command psb harvest_oai.psb to harvest the record from the e-library of DUCD LIS. And after exporting the record, this command batch import xsl.sh with this parameter will import the harvested record into the VuFind system. So VuFind system will display the record similar to the screen as shown in the slide. So I clicked the thesis which are available in e-library DSpace system. So by clicking thesis, we can view the records, and by clicking the get full text, it will go to the DSpace system, and by clicking its entry, we can view the detail. And the detail will contain the abstract in the description, and the link to the full text will be is provided in the internet holdings tab, and also by clicking the online access link. And in the detail format, author and advisor, format, language, publication date, and subjects are displayed. And to index the website, first we had to generate the sitemap, which is usually which can be done by using the certain plugin available for WordPress CMS. And by generating the sitemap, we again had to configure VuFind to index and to crawl each link in the XML sitemap. So before that, we also had to install the full text tools such as Apache Tika software, and we had to configure VuFind, where the sitemap is located, and where which full text extraction tool which can be used with VuFind. And after doing all this, performing all these steps, we had to execute this webcrawl.psp, which resides on the import directory. And after doing that, we can browse the index data of website. And in the screen, I had searched for library day keyword, and this screen was the result as shown in the screen was displayed while performing that search. And the combined search result has both website and catalog. We can search for the term and it will search in both index, catalog, and website, and at once, instead of searching twice, it can search in parallel. So we also have browsing alphabetically. We can also browse alphabetically, and it's we can view how many results of the topic title available in the system. And some of the recommendation that I would like to have, I have added in this presentation, or like to share the experiences that we need to have a DB decimal classification for call numbers, which need to be added in the bibliographic information, so that we can have browsing by call number features as shown in this screen. Because it's not available right now, because the call number is not in the right format, I guess, or maybe it's not, it cannot be used with the VuFind. Probably we'll fix that, we'll address that issue later on. And other recommendation that I wanted to provide as a part of experience is that there should be geographic subdivision in subject heading that should be added if we want to filter by region, or if we want to browse the bibliographic information with or without illustration. We also have to add physical details in the bibliographic information to enable searching for bibliographic information with or without illustration from the advanced page. And keyword and abstract in the DSpace metadata can be added for the missing in the missing bibliographic information. I mean, this information, not all the e-library resources have keywords and abstract. So whichever record don't have a keyword and abstract, I think that by adding this information, the record will be more easily discoverable, and that will enrich metadata also. And by adding keyword, we can we can view by keyword, or we can add we can limit the source result according to the different keyword, like region, or maybe by subject. And some of the remaining works in this pilot project is we have to automate the periodic indexing of record of Koha, DSpace, and website in VuFind, so that any if there are newer record in the system, it will automatically index the new data available in Koha, DSpace, or website automatically, and they are available in the VuFind system. And also we can have updated information that are crawled by Google search. And one of the issues that I found in this that I would like to share in this presentation is that I found this unknown text zone in the located area. I think that I'll fix it by maybe we have to fix that. We have to edit the metadata, or I mean bibliographic information, or we can fix it some other way. We'll do it soon. And some of the links that I found useful.
It's 9 o'clock.
That we have to perform in the coming days are to the links shown in the screen, like deduplicating the records in the index, or how we can perform the whole re-indexing, or how we can automate the indexing process. And I would like to thank Mr. Dibyendra for his technical assistance and help and during the installation process. And I would like to thank him very much. And I would also like to thank Ms. Lila Naichen for encouragement to work on this project and to join this summit. And let me summarize the presentation by going through this summary page. First, we installed VuFind software on the TUCDLI server, which has Ubuntu installed and which also had Koha and DSpace installed. And it's accessible from this link. It's provided in this slide. And 153 bibliographic information have been indexed from the Koha LIS in the VuFinds, and 139 metadata from the DSpace system have been indexed. And finally, 65 base entries from the website have been indexed in the VuFind system. And I have also added a recommendation, especially for the in editing the bibliographic information or updating the bibliographic information, so that we can have certain feature enabled, such as browsing by call number, or limiting search result by clicking the region, or searching for physical details such as with or without illustrations, or we can have certain features enabled if we have keyword and abstract added to the bibliographic information in eLibrary. And finally, the remaining work to be done is automatic indexing of newer record, along with an issue that I had presented in the slide. That's this unknown text is shown, so we have to fix this, and many other works that can be done in the coming days. Could be enhancing, adding new facets to the VuFind, or enhancing the VuFind interface. And that's it for my presentation, and thank you for letting me share my experience on installing and indexing of data in VuFind. If there are any questions, I would love to answer, and that's it for my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for sharing your experience, and congratulations on getting this built and working. I don't see any questions yet, so I thought I'd take a moment to make a couple of comments, but if people do have questions, feel free to post them and I'll stop talking so your questions can get through. Just to address a few of the points you raised, VuFind should be able to handle DOI call numbers instead of the default Library of Congress. There's a call number page in the wiki that lists some settings you can adjust to take advantage of that, and I posted that link in the chat. So I'd encourage you to take a look at that and let me know if you run into any problems with it. As far as improving the indexing, again, I think we already should be taking advantage of geographic subdivisions in MARC records, but it may be more complex in DSpace because we're, I think, by default harvesting Dublin core records, which are inherently, less rich than MARC. So there may be a way to either use a different export format from DSpace or otherwise adjust the indexing rules. But I do suspect you're right that there's room for improvement there. And I'd be happy to work with you on those improvements if I can help.
Thank you, sir. Actually, these recommendations are for TU-CD-LIS instead of, because these features are, in the bibliographic information, these DDC call numbers is not available. Right now, instead of DDC call number, there's call number generated using OCLC Cotter software. I think it's maybe because of that reason, we do not have browse by call number feature, probably. And these geographic subdivisions, these are actually recommendation to CD-LIS actually, so that they could add this information in their bibliographic information, so that we can have a feature like we can browse, we can limit the result by clicking the region, and by we can add physical details in the bibliographic information. Actually, these are the recommendation for CD-LIS actually. So yeah, I would love to work. I would like to. I would surely contact you in case of any help, if I need any help, or if after some time I'll be working on this project again, and definitely I'll contact you again.
That sounds great, and I apologize for misunderstanding the context here. The one other thing is that unknown you're seeing, I suspect that is coming from the ILS driver, because that location line you see in search results gets loaded in real time from Koha. So perhaps it's a Koha or Koha driver configuration issue.
Okay.
And with that, I will thank you again and step out of the way if anyone else has anything to ask about.
Sure, sir. Thank you. So I'll update the slide. Maybe that was confusing because it's not recommendation for the VuFind software, but it's actually the recommendation to CD-LIS actually, so that the project we can have this kind of features actually. It's not for.
I'm always looking for recommendations to improve VuFind as well. So I just heard what
sure.
I was expecting to hear.
Yeah, sure, sir. Maybe we can provide recommendations sometimes later after working in this project. Maybe after performing some other enhancements, we can provide recommendations.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.